The final menu option is Tools, Internet Options. This is one of the largest and most complete areas inside of Internet Explorer for controlling how Internet Explorer works with you and with the web pages that you encounter. Let's go through each of them and look at what they do. The first of these is the General tab. You'll notice across the top there's a number of different tabs. For the General tab, the first of the options is Home Page. This will allow you to set what your home page is when Internet Explorer opens. So for example, if you wanted Microsoft.com to be your home page, then you would use that. You could type that right in here and hit OK. And now you'll notice that the next time I launch Internet Explorer, Google is no longer our home page, but rather Microsoft.com is now our home page. We'll go ahead and set this back to Google. Another thing that you can do is use the current page as your default page, use the default that comes with Windows 7 as your default page, or use a blank as your default page. The next menu option here is called Browsing History. This tells you whether or not to delete temporary files, histories, cookies, saved passwords, and web form information. So what you can do is you can choose to delete the browser history every single time you exit Internet Explorer by clicking this checkbox. Or you can choose to delete it right now by clicking the delete button and then saying delete. That just deleted all of the history, cache, and other browser settings that might let someone after us see where we were when we were browsing previous to them. You can also use the settings button to manually set exactly how often and what is deleted and removed, and how large the cache should be. You can also choose how long the history should be. You can specify how many days Internet Explorer should save the list of websites you have visited and the days to keep the pages in history. As you can see, the current setting is 20, and that means that Internet Explorer will remember the last 20 days worth of the pages that you visited and will display them in the history box, which we've already looked at earlier in this lesson. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other stuff on this page. You can also choose which search defaults are used. As you can see, Bing and Google are the two search add-ons that are currently enabled. You can add Yahoo or any other search engine that you might want, and you can also delete ones that already are there. Also, you can set which is the default. As you can see, Google is our current default, which is why this is grayed out. If we wanted Bing to be our default search engine, we could choose Bing and hit Set as Default. Now Bing will be our search default. The next area of the Internet Options menu that we're going to look at is the Tabs button. Tabs, Settings. Let's go through what each one of these means. Enabling tabbed browsing lets you turn on and off whether you should be able to use tabbed browsing. As you can remember earlier, Control-T opens a new tab. If you turn off tabbed browsing, you will no longer be able to create multiple tabs. Warn me when closing multiple tabs means that if you have multiple tabs open and you choose to close Internet Explorer as a whole, if there is more than one tab on, then it will tell you that you're about to close multiple tabs by giving you a warning. If you uncheck this box, it will close Internet Explorer regardless of how many tabs you have open without a warning. The second checkbox, Always switch to new tabs when they are created, basically means that if you create a new tab, Internet Explorer will automatically load that tab. The third checkbox, Show previews for individual tabs in the taskbar, means that if it's checked, you get a preview for that individual tab in the taskbar versus having one taskbar item with all of the different tabs located beneath it. Enable Quick Tabs allows you to turn on and off whether you have Quick Tabs enabled or not. What is Quick Tabs? Well, let's take a quick look and then we'll come back. If you have multiple tabs open, like I am creating now by hitting Control-T, you'll notice that a small box appears to the left of the tabs with 4 small squares in it. If you click on this or hit Control-Q, you will be presented with a preview thumbnail of every single tab you have open. This is especially useful if you have more tabs available on your bar than you can display. When you're done looking at the Quick Tabs button, simply click it again and it will return to the normal view. So let's go back to Tools, Internet Options, Settings for Tabs. As you can see, this checkbox allows you to turn on and off the Quick Tabs feature. Tab Groups allows you to group tabs into a particular group so you can pull an entire series of tabs as one group at one time. The next checkbox, Open only the first home page when Internet Explorer starts, means that if you've specified more than one home page, this will only open the very first one. If it's unchecked, it will open as many home pages as you've declared. The next box, when a tab is opened, open the new tab page, a blank page, or your first home page. What this basically means is when you hit Control-T or New Tab, whether the new tab should be blank, whether it showed the new tab page, or whether the new tab should contain a copy of the home page which you've declared. The next area, when a pop-up is encountered. A pop-up is a small window that a web browser may send when it encounters HTML that tells it to open up a pop-up. This tells it so that let Internet Explorer decide how pop-ups should be opened. If you check this box, then Microsoft Internet Explorer 8 will decide how to best open the pop-up. If you choose the second option, always open pop-ups in a new window, then this means that Internet Explorer will open an entirely new window for the pop-up. If you have the third choice selected, any new windows that pop up will be opened in a new tab. The next section is Open links from other programs in. What this basically means is that when you're browsing the web, you may come across a link. When you click the link, this determines how it should handle the link. If you have it set to a new window, this means that when you click on a link, that it will open the link in an entirely new copy of Internet Explorer. If you choose the second option and you click on a link, a new tab will open and the link's contents will be loaded within it. If you choose the third option, the page that you're currently visiting will disappear and the link that you've chosen will replace it. If you like to click this button, Restore Defaults, it will set all of the settings back to the Windows Internet Explorer's defaults that came loaded from the factory. To make your settings take effect, hit OK, or to discard all of the changes you made, hit Cancel. OK, the next set of buttons that we're going to look at include colors, languages, fonts, and accessibility. Let's take a look at Appearance, Colors. This basically allows you to manually set what colors you want Windows to use in particular situations. When you choose Use Hover Color, this basically means that if you've clicked on a link previously, that it will change colors depending on whether you visited the link before or not. If you uncheck the Use Windows Color box, this means it will let you manually set the text color defaults, the background color defaults, the visited tab link defaults, and the unvisited links. When you're done setting this, choose OK. The next box is Languages. If you speak a language other than English, you can add the language to the list of languages or replace the language that's currently there. This will affect how keys and characters are displayed, depending on which language you have set. Prefix and suffix options. Whether or not to add www to the beginning of typed web addresses. If you check this box, it means that when you type in www.nameofsite.com, it will simply discard the www and show you only the name of the address itself. Suffix. You can specify the suffix, for example, .net, that should be entered into typed web addresses whenever you hit Control-Shift-Enter. So for example, if you don't want to type in .com all the time, you can just enter .com as the suffix, and whenever you type in something, it will automatically add .com to the end for you. When you're done, hit OK to save or Cancel to discard. This concludes the first tab in Internet Options, General. Let's go ahead and move on to the Security tab next.